Vampires, blood, and strippers. That's how I got to start it up, because that sounds like my kind of musical. So what is Vampire Bird Serenade all about?
Well, okay, let's see. Vampire Bird Serenade is a musical. There's dance, there's music, there's zombies, there's blood, there's vampires, and the meta, I guess, is monsters, the humanity, the painful humanity of monsters, which somehow seems to correlate with maybe our current lives. I don't know, maybe not.
And how do you say it like that? I mean, obviously there's something maybe that's reflecting during these times. Is that something that kind of inspired the way that Vampire Bird Serenade got started?
I think we are a bunch of crazy, ludicrous people involved in this project, and so it probably wouldn't have mattered either way. But it certainly is interesting how it's reflecting. I just look at there's the main story, and that's a fun, racy, great, raunchy, ridiculous story. Then there's this, there's a little bit of meta in there where you go, "Oh God, that's a little,"
Right.
So, yeah. I don't want to give any plot away, any story points, but it definitely does seem to reflect on the things that I think we all relate to, of the humans that are sometimes more monstrous than some of the monsters we might know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they're living among us, right? And I know Marissa, because she's so much involved in theater, and she was really interested on the whole process of how Vampire Bird Serenade got started. So, Marissa.
Yeah, okay. So I watched your trailer, all right, and I was dying laughing. I'm like, either this is going to be a cult classic or it's going to be a dismal failure. So you have one or the other, okay? Fingers crossed for cult classic.
Well, first of all, Marissa knows all, and I took the lesson earlier. I know that you know, and you're exactly right. And really, that's when, at this level of independent filmmaking, this was the spirit that I enter in, which is, let's do things that studios would never try. Let's do things that no one would try, and let's make it. Let's attempt to make it the sort of thing that if we were sitting in the audience, this is what I always say: if we were sitting watching it, we would go, "Oh my God, I want to do that." But of course, with that comes this other side where it's like, "Oh no, oh God, people are going to see that and talk about it."
That is so funny, because honestly, when I saw the trailer, the reason why I'm leaning on it's going to be a cult classic, because it reminded me of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I mean, it's not at all, it's totally different, aesthetic, but the whole musical that's being done differently, that has a shock value to it. So what was your inspiration for this?
Well, so being the crazy, ridiculous, maybe even stupid producer that I am, I find, and it's the old-fashioned way, I find things that I go, wow, this is a great artist. I'd like to see them able to make movies. And that's what happened with Ken Rote. So to be very fair, it is his baby entirely. And he's a small theater guy in LA that's done very well, which is, akin to an Elon Musk. And to be able to do well in small theater in LA is just, you're Elon Musk. That's it. You're amazing. And he was one of those guys. And, he's an amazing, stunning creator, and he's also has some hecticness to deal with sometimes. So I had these two things of like, I really want to work with this guy. Oh, I'm so scared he's going to kill me and blow things up. And finally he presented me a short story, and I had been trying for years to figure out something that I could work with him. And he presented me a short story about a vampire musical. And I said, "You are an idiot. I would never do that. That is the stupidest thing." Literally. I was like, no. And I don't do short films. He's like, "It's okay. I can make it a feature. Just read it. He asked me. And I was like, oh God, okay. Read it. And I was blown away. It was so good. And I said, okay, make that a feature, which is no small order. And, I think literally it was about a week later, he presented me with, and he said, "What's the feature?" I go, "Oh, 75, 80 pages. He presented me a script, and I went, wow, this is ridiculous. And I've never had a writer in one present something, and then I said, we did rewrites. We did really one rewrite, which is unheard of.
Wow.
And that was it. And so, all is to say, he was truly the inspiration. I am merely a follower, a zombie follower. And Yeah, and it really was his baby and his crazy, you know, he's a madman who can make a vampire zombie musical work and compelling.